Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Unexpected Entrepreneur Podcast. Today, we are back with one of our blogging clients, Sean, to talk all about the blogging experience. But before we jump into it, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm Sean Szitas with Sean Szitas Photography. I'm a wedding photographer in Asheville, North Carolina. Been doing this for a little over 10 years, which is crazy. But I mostly focus on weddings, focusing a lot on community, building the community in Asheville, working with, queer community, queer weddings. That's a big thing for Asheville. Just kind of doing a lot of building up the industry here and also being a photographer. So that's basically it.
Which I think is so important. I mean, we're always huge fans of like anyone who's kind of putting queer people out into the world and showing their stories and showing that love, and it's one of our favorite things to like see all these photos come through and like all of
hmm
these insanely happy couples that are just like living their life, so it always just like warms our hearts every time we get to see it.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. It's good to be able to provide to be a resource, I guess, for queer
Hmm.
couples in Asheville around coming here to get married. It's just nice to like be a part of something because I just feel like it's always a two-way street of like we're building community and helping people. Like we're doing a lot and it's helping a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's something that we always need to keep going and keep pushing forward and keep putting out there, so it's all we always love being playing our small little role of trying to help that and make that the norm and not something that you have to actually search out for.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that one.
So we have been blogging with you for a couple months now. I think we're around the
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 month mark. Before you started working with us, what was your kind of experience with blogging? How was that going for you? What were you kind of doing on your own?
Well, I think before I hired y'all, my blogging experience, I think I've only been blogging for 2 years because like I didn't do a lot of blogging. I didn't really put a lot of effort into it. When I went to photo school, I remember they taught us how to do blogging and just kind of giving you a rundown of like, here's how to do it. But that was in like 2013. Like blogging and like kind of what you have to do has changed a little bit. But I feel
Yeah.
like I've always heard from my friends who are doing really good, are super successful, as a photography business, growing, able to have photographers on their team and get consistent inquiries, which is like, I want that. They were always telling me to blog, blog, blog. And so I think I started committing to blogging in 2023 ish, but I would like try to churn out two a month, once a month. And it's hard. It's a lot of hard work, especially when you're
Hmm.
like busy and everyone's like, oh, if you're shooting, be posting, be blogging, that's a lot to do at once. So I think for me, I just kept getting stalled out on like how to present it and what to do with all this information, because it's like I want everyone to experience every part of the wedding that I experienced. I want you to know every
Hmm.
little thing. So I think I started looking for someone to outsource that because I was like, hey, that's the easiest thing to outsource is blogging. I'm not
Yeah.
giving someone control over my editing. I don't know. I just felt like something that was easiest to give control over, or like to be like, okay, you take it, cool. And I like that there was a lot of back and forth between us before they were uploaded because I'm a very controlling person. So I wanted to like know what was going on at all times. So yeah, I was very much by I think after a year and a half of doing it, I was like, I am desperate to have someone do this for me because I knew I needed it because Instagram was just not going anywhere. And the whole saying of like blogs live forever, Instagram posts only last for like, a couple days or a week. So I really wanted to fill in that void and start blogging.
I feel like that's one of the like hardest things when it comes to starting blogging is figuring out how to actually structure the post and like what to put in there and what people are looking for and what's
Yeah.
important because you're obviously an expert in all of this and like you were there on the like all of the information, but trying to figure out and piece together like okay, what are people actually interested in learning and what's going to like pull them in and drive them in, and that kind of back and forth I feel like can sometimes get you. I mean, we experience in our own thing, our own business, where we're like, okay, I'm thinking so much about it and I'm not actually doing it, and then it just kind of
hmm
keeps getting pushed down on the priority list, and then it ends up not. You're like, I know I need to do this, but you just never actually get around to doing that. And I think it's something that we all fall into, and it's an easy thing to be like, I know in my mind, I know that this is what I should be doing, but like it just feels like a hurdle to actually get over and do it.
Yeah, and I will add though, like I feel like I also would make excuses for it because it's like Instagram is so instant, where it's like you get
Hmm.
likes, people like it, makes your phone go off, you get all these hearts. With blogging, it takes time. Those posts like they're a slow crawl up the Google pages. So
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people get turned away from it because it's like you do one or two, and you're like, I'm not getting an inquiry from this, blah blah blah. And that's another thing of like tying into SEO, where it's like stuff like that, because I mean blogging is SEO, so it's like stuff like that takes a long time for it to crawl up the pages, for it to become on the first or second page, for Google or whatever, to be like, oh, this is relevant, let's do it,
Yeah.
so that's another thing about, like, I think people kind of get turned off of blogs because there's no instant like gratification.
Yeah, that kind of like it's that waiting game. And sometimes that waiting game is really hard, especially when you're like, I want things to happen right now. And like I'm putting in the
Yeah,
effort right now. I want to see that back. But then
I want
when you,
inquiries, I want clients.
yeah, exactly. But then when you flip it around and you're like, okay, I wrote this post like a year and a half ago and I'm still getting inquiries from it. And like, can you say that about any other, social media platform? A post that you posted a year and a
No.
half ago is still getting your inquiries? Like it's hard to have the patience and sit back and be like, okay, I know that this will eventually work and it's something that's just going to build and build and build, but like I need to actually give it the time to do that.
Yeah, and also like having checking your blog, kind of like you guys have
Hmm.
it tied into your process when I'm submitting blogs, or like little check-ins, is like, how's
Hmm.
your analytics, how's it going? And it's like, if you have your blog set up through Google Analytics and through Google Search Console, like I am able to basically like see in real time people searching inquiries, and how my blog posts up, where the position is on certain pages. I've not been able to see like a direct, like, this person said they came from this blog in here, but I do know that I definitely did book at least like 3 or 4 weddings because of those blogs, because
Hmm.
at certain venues that I wanted to get couples at. And that's another thing about blogging that I love, that I was thinking about. It's like that really helps me attract certain clients that I want. Blogging about a
Yeah.
certain venue, blogging, like, you guys give me suggestions, or like, hey, what about a location, and that, like, you like to photograph at. I'm in Atlanta all the time, and I do an Atlanta blog post. I'll keep getting business there. So I really like that, because I feel like it helps me find the clients that I want. If they're booking at a certain venue, if they're into a certain type of vibe, if they're looking into North Carolina but they live in California, I feel like blogging really helps you pinpoint exactly what you want to come across as, and what kind of clients you want to view your work.
Yeah, it's very much that it's like the idea, yes, is pulling in that organic traffic and pulling in people from Google search and, getting that I'm not actively trying to find people, they're finding me. But also the flip side of it is you're writing very specific things that are going to draw in the exact type of people that you want to work with.
Hmm.
And like that, having 10 people who are your ideal clients coming into your inquiry form is so much more beneficial than having 100 people that are just kind of filling it out and you're crossing your fingers
Yes.
and hoping. And like that's trying to get those people who are like, I am looking for you, like you specifically, this is exactly what I want, you check all my
Hmm.
boxes, I want to go here, this is the vibe that I want. Like that's so beneficial when it comes to like your business as a whole, and having clients that you like working with and the type of work that you want out there. I feel like it just makes doing everything in your business like so much easier and like more fulfilling.
Yeah. It feels like you're actually doing something, like, in
Hmm.
line with a goal. You're not just like posting on Instagram and hoping it goes viral, or hoping people like it. Like, I don't know. Instagram is so, like, I don't even try to like understand the algorithm or how people see my stuff, or they'll be like, here's your insight. Here's a little graph with a line on it, and it does this. And I'm like, I don't know. Whereas, I don't know. I just feel like blogs, I just feel like pipeline is there from Google
Hmm.
search, finding your blog, going on your page, and it'll tell me, oh, this person went to your blog, went to your about me, went to your contact, and then filled out a form. And then look, what do you know? I have an inquiry from a couple that's getting married at the exact venue that I want to photograph at more. and they happen to fall in love with my work, love what I have to say, because as you guys know, I've definitely read a dissertation for every blog post that I'm submitting to you guys. But yeah, I love it. I just think it gives me more security in who is contacting me. And because I went through a long, like I think like a 3 months last year before my branding was up, before I booked y'all, where
Mhm.
I got like 16 inquiries, booked none. And I had like
Mhm.
out of those 16, I had 5 phone calls. And usually phone call means I'm booked. Like we're in the bag, done deal. I just got to be, good little me and we're good to go. Nothing. And I think I just put so much emphasis on making sure they knew who I was. And now it's like,
Yeah.
now that I have my website, my branding, everything is reflective of who I am. And then I have a blog post that is my voice, that is my work, that is true to me. Because I really felt like you guys honored that. You know what I mean? It really
Yeah.
felt like it was still me putting up that work. Like no one could tell, like, oh, that's someone else is doing it. I don't know. It just cut down so much, like just so much waste of time for me explaining myself. Where couples are like, we want to know more about your process, more about your work. We want to tell you about
Mhm.
ourselves. I don't know. It just really transformed my confidence and how I approach new clients, and really made the whole booking process so much easier because I knew where they're coming from. I knew what they already saw, and they already knew who I am.
And I think that that personality piece of making it feel like even if you're getting on the phone with them for the first time or meeting them for the first time, it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like it's their first time ever meeting you. They have that connection. They're
Yes,
like, I understand who you are. Like, I know who's going to show up to this call. And like, that's what I want. That's who I want to work with. This is the personality of the person that I want to work with, or whatever it is. So
I'm a
I know, I
personality
mean,
buyer through and through.
Exactly. And for something like your wedding day, like you want that. You don't want to feel awkward with the person that's going to be like in there while you're getting dressed for your wedding. Like that's not
Exactly. Because if you feel
ex-
awkward, they're going to capture the awkwardness. That's another thing I tell my
yeah.
clients. I'm like, you got like someone could take great photos that you're just like, oh my god, they're so great. But if you don't vibe with them, and if they say things, do things, or just their mere presence makes you uncomfortable for some reason, that's going to reflect in the photos. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I can't capture happiness unless you're happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got to be a part of it. I gotta help make it possible. You know what I mean? Like I really hate that old saying, or the people are like, I'm the fly on the wall. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not a fly on the wall at the wedding. I am not a fly on the wall. I am not. I hate that. So I'm like,
I'm going to
that
be
makes
right
no
there.
sense. I'm gonna be in
I'm going
your
to be in
face.
your face. This is yeah, and it's it's so important because like you say personality hire, but like that's what you really want and that's what you're looking for. And I think having it out there in the like right at the forefront, but then also having it so that everything matches, I think is also really important because you can be super personality filled on Instagram, but then be like super dry
Oh
and corporate on your website.
yeah.
And then people are, they're like, well, I have no idea who I'm getting. And like now I'm a little
Hmm.
unsure about what's happening. But that, like, no, everywhere you interact with me, you're going to get the same exact person and you're going to get the same exact personality and sarcasm and voice and like everything
Yeah.
I'm saying is gonna match up like that. I feel like just builds so much more like trust and confidence in people just
Yes.
like initially, like without even being like, okay, I've met you, we've talked, I know you're gonna take care of it, like just that initial, all right, I this is good, I'm good, like we're
Hmm.
good with this.
And for any vendor, I mean, being consistent is great.
Hmm.
I mean, even me, I wouldn't book someone that I feel like I got mixed signals from, where they're
Yeah.
like really happy and excited about my wedding day that one minute, and then as soon as they get their payment, it's like they can't be bothered with something, or like something like that, where it's like, I don't want to be a red flag. I don't want to do these kind of things. So it was really great for me. Like I think it was by August. So that was like 2 months in to me having you guys do blogs. I think by that point, whoever was doing the blogs, like I think it was y'all or someone else on your team, like they got my voice right. I don't know the way that
Hmm.
they were like tweaking it and taking it. I was like, that's exactly it. Like I felt like they found my voice, or they were able to
Yeah.
translate it and construct it, which I felt like really just made my process easier. Because I was like, okay, now I don't have to give them so much. I can give them exactly what I know they need, and they'll take it from there. Which I really loved because it really just made the whole process so much easier. I was like, oh, all I got to do is just like take a topic, write a little bit about it, get some pretty photos, and just like write my absolute feelings about it. I don't have to be presenting it. It doesn't have to be an essay where it's like I write the, introductory paragraph, the body, the conclusion. I just felt like I was able just to write freely, and it became so freeing just to be like, okay, that's done. And then I would get so excited when you're like, okay, it's up. And I'd be like, I would get to watch it kind of crawl the pages on Google just slowly. The more people like viewed it. And then you guys always did the perfect titles. I would say that too, which titles are important. That's what
Yeah,
Google picks up on.
absolutely.
And you guys always did it perfect. So I'm like, what do I call this? They all just sound the same. And you guys were like, no names, no dates, nothing. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it really grabby and like, attention seeking on Google. And I was like, cool, I like it.
Exactly. Because that's, I mean, when you're thinking about, I feel like the hard thing is you have to take a step back and think about your own habits when you're like online and what's going to make you click on something on Google and like what's going to keep you on a blog post and like keep you reading. And I feel like sometimes you want to like make it feel so perfect, but then you're like, wait, I wouldn't even click on that. Or like I would
Yeah.
click out of this article because I'm not actually getting the information that I want to get. So like how do I restructure this so that
Yeah.
it's something that people are actually, interested in and like want to see more.
Yeah. No one's going to be like, oh, Jessica and Brian got married. Like, let me go click on that. They don't care about that. They care about if it was fun, if it was great, if it happened to be like a F5 tornado during the ceremony and somehow we all
Yeah.
survived. That's what I want to know about. And like, I don't know, when you guys were like, no names, no dates, and then like, rank math SEO is like, no, you need numbers. And so I was like, okay, but it was so freeing not to have to put names and like give like
Mhm.
basically a whole description in the title, just something like really sweet and simple. I remember y'all did one was like how to plan a Laurel Falls wedding, and that blog is number one. It is like the first non like Laurel Falls venue related thing on Google, and
Mhm.
I love it, and I get hits on it every day, and I think it's perfect. And
Yeah,
and I was like, that's the best title. Google's like, that's the best title. Can't top it.
exactly. Because when you're looking at it, like, let's be real, no one knows who Jessica and Brian are. Like, those people and their
Yeah,
friends might be like, okay, great, but they were probably at the wedding anyway. No
yeah, they're not
random
googling it.
person, yeah, no random person is gonna, care about this. They might want to see what they did on their wedding day and like how it was brought to
Yeah.
life, but they're like, I have no connection to these people, and that doesn't help
Yeah.
me at all.
Yeah, but they're like, I do want to know how to plan a Laurel Falls wedding and what
Exactly.
to do for a wedding that is predominantly outside as a venue. What happens if it rains? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's another thing. And I just like being able to, I just like the being able to provide educational aspects to it. Cause I think once
Hmm.
you're like 10 years into the business, you're like, I used to be all about portfolio and showing my work. And even you guys make a point saying like your blog, cause I do read your little emails you send me. You're like, your blogs don't need to be like a showcase of portfolio. And I'm like, you're right, it doesn't. And Google doesn't care either. It's content, it's your best work, and it's informative. And I really like that a lot because I love to give advice and I love to like tie in my knowledge
Hmm.
to help someone else and do this. So a lot of those tips really helped me just kind of cut away the fat, I should say, in
Yeah.
like what I feel like I need to include in my
Hmm.
blog, because it really became an overwhelming like, okay, I just went through the ceremony, now I'll talk about the first dance, now I'll talk about this. I felt like I had to like shed light on every little thing when you
Hmm.
guys knew exactly what people were going to be looking for and what is going to be the most important thing to talk about.
Yeah, and I think that kind of educational lens, like we love kind of steering towards educational type posts because those are the exact things that like people are looking for and people want to know. And you can kind of tie in everything. Like you can tie in what your couple did on their wedding day and like things that you've picked up, and it shows your expertise and it like
Mm-hmm.
makes people confident that you're going to be able to go with the flow. And like if anything comes up, you're like, well, this and happened, and this is
Mm-hmm.
how we adjusted, and it was great. Like I think sometimes we skip out on educational content because we feel like it's maybe something that no one's looking for, or it's a little more boring, but like most of the time people are planning their wedding for their first time. Like most people aren't
Oh, yes.
getting married
Everyone's stupid.
multiple, like, so they have no idea what's going on and they have no idea how to do any of this, but you do this on a daily basis and like understand the ins and outs of it, and that, those personal experiences, that expertise is so valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people can, like, there's a lot of people being talked into not hiring a photographer or not doing this
Hmm.
because of information of they've heard from a past wedding, And I will say, I always have that bridesmaid in every wedding I photograph that just got married that always wants to like chime in for a little like, this is what I did. Or actually, should you do this? I'm like, girl, I don't need this info right now. And they're just like, this is what I did. And I'm like, well, I've done like 50 of these. So let me tell you what I'm going to do. So it's like, and so I don't have to be as bitchy in person. I'm like, here's my blog
Mhm.
post. Just read it. Just read that
Exactly.
information, honey. It's a lot
No.
less bitchy, I promise.
100%. Is there anything else? I know we talked a little bit about like some of the inquiries that have come in. Is there anything else that you've noticed kind of come out from the blog post or anything that's, kind of started to see any changes or anything since we started posting them?
I would just say, like, just I have a way better Google presence and online presence, and I just see
Mhm.
a lot more analytics coming in. I think another thing, kind of taking a couple steps back because I am achieving this goal now. So I listened to one of your podcasts where the photographer was just like, I love that I have to like not post as much, not do so much to
Mhm.
get inquiries, to feel like I'm relevant. And I think she tied in the whole blog post live forever, blah blah blah. And I was like, I want that. And I think I'm actively living out my dream right now. So I'm gonna cry. But I just love it because I go on my Google Analytics, I go on my search console, and I just see exactly what I want to see. I see
Mhm.
the blogs that I've posted, the Laurel Falls one, and and then I did a venue one about all about a venue that they loved it so much because like that was the one because the person who wrote that did a really good job.
Mhm.
The person who took that blog that I gave them and they reworked it, did a fabulous job. And the venue attaches it to all their onboarding emails. So every single couple that inquires sees that blog. And it has
Mhm.
gotten me multiple weddings from that at that one venue. So I think I'm really seeing the investment I took on hiring y'all to do that and then the time that I spend doing those blog posts every month to submit them really has given me a lot more confidence. I see what I want to see, and I feel like a huge decrease in stress. Like I mean, this time last year I was all alert. I basically just hit an iceberg last year. This year there's no iceberg. I feel like I'm smooth sailing and it feels fantastic.
I think that kind of like everything playing together SEO wise, like it's not everything's not individual and separate. Like everything works together and like grows your site in general. Like putting out these blog posts can even help your website pages rank, and like
Mm-hmm.
all of these things work together to create a better presence on Google that just makes it so much easier for you to again find those people that you like really want to work with. But then also like you said, like having a venue put it on their onboarding emails
Oh,
like
that was
that,
amazing.
it's such a small thing, but like being able to work with these different venues and kind of collaborate with them, even if you're not
And build a
doing it
relationship
directly.
and build a
Yeah.
relationship because they did that all on their own. The owner
Hmm.
of that venue came up to me and told me she loved it so much and they did that. So that was like, I did nothing. And like, that can be awkward. Like, if I were to go to a venue and be like, can you put this blog on your email for me, please? They're gonna be like, who are you? Like, get out of my house. Why are you
Like
here?
we're like no.
They're like, get out of my house. Yeah. So like, I don't know. Like, and then I was able to do another blog post for another vendor. So it also it just gave me like reason to I don't know. I was like I need another blog post. What I'm going to do? Oh, I'll go take photos of this amazing planner, and then I'll have
Hmm.
them write it because like it gave me this certainty of like I put my money where my mouth is. Like I'm gonna say and write a
Hmm.
blog post. I'm gonna write that blog post because I have y'all helping me out and doing it, and it helped me create a relationship with the planner. It helped me get to know more vendors. I feel like I really utilized it the most I could to not only build up SEO, but to be like, I want this venue to, promote me and I'm promoting them at the same time,
Yeah.
so it really, I mean, it really just did a lot for my business and made me feel like I'm doing more than just posting on Instagram because Instagram, it really does shrivel up and die. I mean,
Hmm.
everything goes to die. It's a tumbleweed. But I mean, you gotta post on it. But I feel like I'm putting more of myself, my personality, and my soul into those blog posts, and I'm seeing a way better return on that.
And I think too, kind of having that, not necessarily expecting anything from anyone else, but just finding the people and the places that you really love to like work in and work with and be around,
Hmm.
and writing about it without being like, hey, I'm going to write this and then I need you to do this, but just like, hey, I loved working at this venue and I'm going to write a post about it because I really want more couples to be at that venue. Like that sort of relationship where you're putting it
It's
out there and
genuine.
yeah, it's genuine. You really love it. You're not expecting anything in return. So they know that like what you're saying is real and true. Those little connections are so important. And I think for photographers, especially with venues and planners, those are like the two people that might be booked before you're booked, so like finding ways to
Hmm.
make more connections with them to have your name at the top of their head or anything like that, like that's so important and can so easily be done without also feeling like you're kind of doing it for nothing, because even if they don't do anything, it's still going to show up on Google, and now couples who are looking for that venue are going to see it on Google. So like
Or that
even if
planner,
you're
yeah.
yeah, even if you're thinking that like it's nothing's gonna come of it because the venue hasn't seen it or anything like that, other people are still seeing it. So it still works both ways.
Yeah, I will say all the venue posts I've done through y'all are ranking on the first page. So
Yeah.
because the title's perfect and it's full of information, has links, it's good, and yeah. So I would definitely say, yeah, I'm just like a little emotional. I'm like looking back, I'm like, oh, I've done so much, but no, but really, it's been a great, like, it just really helped me. I don't know, just build a really good foundation for my
Hmm.
business. Like I am that person that I listened to in the podcast that y'all did, where it's like I can kick my feet up and relax. And I'm like, yeah, this is the first January, February season that I have not been like full steam ahead, like ramp it up, exhaust yourself emotionally, trying to do everything you can to get an inquiry. And I don't know, I just put a lot of work in and I just made the right
Hmm.
investment. And it it's been great. It's been awesome. And I just have just so much more confidence in my business and I love it.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel like I can just focus on me and focus on taking my business further, doing more things outside of what I've been doing for the past 10 years. So it really just gives me a lot of freedom.
Absolutely. Was there anything throughout the process that kind of surprised you with it, or anything that's been like your favorite part of it?
I think the surprising thing is honestly, like, I'm not going to say, because I literally just said it takes a long time, but I will say it really was kind of quick. Like, you guys posted that Laurel's Fall wedding blog post. I think it was mid July. I booked a wedding end of August at that venue, and it
Hmm.
was because of that blog. They would not have found me without that blog. So I think just kind of seeing pretty quickly
Hmm.
how because I mean there's also other factors that played into them seeing me, but seeing how quickly I did see results through and through from the blog post, having that venue tell me they did that, because that all happened within the first 2 months, you
Yeah.
know. So I would say what really surprised me was just like seeing such a good return on my investment and
Hmm.
not regretting it, because I've done a lot of investments in my business that I regretted and still regret to this day. I just paid off my credit card from making a payment in 2019 for my business. So I just paid it off. So what is that? 5 years later. So didn't regret it at all. And I think I really just enjoyed just, I don't know, just getting to spend more time with my photos and spend more time with
Hmm.
my work and just kind of talking about it, I guess. And I guess doing what I did with the vendors and getting to meet people and getting to, give something to people. Like the planner and I were really close and she's getting lots of weddings. So it was nice to like do something for her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I guess the blogs kind of gave me that power, because I wouldn't have had the idea to do her headshots and write a whole blog about her without being, you know, in this blogger thing that y'all have. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it gave me a lot of confidence and it gave me a lot of creativity, and it allowed me to take a step out from behind my fucking phone. Sorry. It really helped me just not be behind my phone, not be working, to be actively doing stuff. And yeah, I love it. No
Yeah.
regrets.
I feel like sometimes that idea of blogging can do a lot, but you don't really necessarily see the whole scope of how it can really affect everything and change everything until it like starts to do it and work in the right way. And you're like, wow, yeah, I thought it might get me a couple more inquiries, but now it's like opening up all these things. I have all these new ideas. I have all these people I can work with, and like people that
Hmm.
I'm meeting that I would have never met before. And it's like this domino effect of, I feel like I'm able to do more of the things that I really love to do. and like
Mhm.
work with the people that I really love to work with and show up really like confident and as myself and not have to pretend to be anything else. Like people want me for me, and that like
Yes,
just
that's
that
exactly it.
it,
Yes.
it just makes you feel so good because you're like I'm doing it and people appreciate that and like respect what I'm doing and like trust me, and that just
Yeah.
I feel like it helps you feel so much more confident in everything that you're doing in your business.
Yeah, and I spent so much money on my blogging and branding and my website. I want people to see it. I want people to like. I don't. Instagram does not have any personalization, branding, anything.
Hmm.
Nothing. I'm shitting on Instagram so much just because it really is like it really is not. It's not the place to be right now if you're trying to build a long business, like longevity, in my opinion. So yeah, being able to attract people to my website and attract people to my branding and see me, my whole branding is disco balls, colors. It's
Hmm.
bright. It's energy. It's there. So being able to bring people to that really, I feel like sealed the deal. It's like I'm luring people in for all the right reasons. So yeah, I will. I just definitely can't say enough more about blogging is the way to go when you want something. I don't know. Just when you want to attract certain clients, blogging is the way to
Hmm.
go.
Yeah.
Your brand. That's just the way to do it, and it really people love blogs. People love blogs. Google loves blogs. So yeah, I definitely would say that really helped. That was like the missing link. I feel like once I had my website down, I was like, I need to outsource to a blogger. And then once I listened to that podcast and saw that you worked for Susan Stripling, that's when I was like, I'm done. Case, I've loved her forever, and that you're a queer business, love to support queer business. So I
Hmm.
think once that trifecta was kind of solidified, that's when I was like, done.
No, I love it. And it's been so much fun. And it's like we always love being able to help in our small way of like letting everyone kind of do the things that they want to actually do in their business. Like we're not social media influencers. Like we did not get into business to be on Instagram and TikTok and
No.
all of these other platforms 24/7, and being able to be like, okay, I don't have to rely on this. So when Instagram goes down and everyone's freaking out because now they have no way to get inquiries, like I'm still good because I have this. And like whether or not TikTok gets banned, I'm still good because people are just going to my website and I don't have to worry about any of these outside influences that I have absolutely
Mm.
no control over.
Exactly, exactly. And once you get someone on your website, it's a lot easier to kind of hook them in as opposed to
Hmm.
Instagram. Like I said,
Yeah.
Instagram is instant gratification, and then that person could just be scrolling until oblivion. Whereas on a blog post, they're hooked in, And then if you have backlinks, they'll just keep kind of searching and searching deeper on your website until they
Yeah.
book you.
They're intentionally there versus just kind of stumbling upon you as we all sit there and doom scroll. I feel like it's just that
Yeah.
it's more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the blogging thing really though, because I'm about to send in my last blog for the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, but I will say it really has. I mean, just like when you ask that question, and I'm like, wow, it really has. It really has changed, given me a lot of confidence, changed the way that I feel about my business in the future, and
Mhm.
really has. I feel like I have 2 feet in the door, not just one. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
very much where I'm supposed to be. And yeah, it's a blog, but I mean, how many blogs did I get? It was 2 for 6 months. What was it? 12? I don't
12
know.
post
Okay.
totals.
that, yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it really helps. It really helps you build a good foundation for your website.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also little tidbit, Google loves to see your website updated. So your
Hmm.
website just can't sit there looking pretty with no updates, no nothing. So seeing that my blog was being updated helped my website also grow. Like I've also grown organically through other inquiries like Asheville Wedding Photographer. I used to be
Hmm.
like page 10. I'm page like 5. And I think
Yeah.
that's because I'm actively doing this. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on forever. But blogging has helped me tremendously as a business owner to just feel way more confident and like knowing that like I can be at home sitting and listening to music or just chilling, knowing that like someone is like my website's working for me,
Hmm. Absolutely.
So I love it.
100%. If anybody wants to maybe take a look at some of these blog posts and see
Oh
what's
yeah.
been put out or even your work in general, where can they find you online?
Yes. So like I mentioned, just type in like Laurel Falls wedding on Google and I'll be right there, like I said, or just type in my name, photography. So SeanZitasPhotography.com, and you can check out those blog posts and also my work and everything like that.
Perfect. Well, we'll put those links down below for everyone. You should definitely go check them out. Thank you again so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on today and talking about all of this, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.